now take your seats. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of Defense Forces, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, COG Chair, Madam Anne Waiguru, the 6 sitting women governors, Governor Nairobi Johnson Sakaja, former governors present, Cabinet Secretary Gender, Culture, the Arts and Heritage, Aisha Jumwa, all Cabinet Secretaries and Cabinet Principal Secretaries present, ambassadors, all national and international leaders present, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. With your permission, Your Excellency, I will invite Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza to start us with the word of prayer, and I'm requesting that we all be upstanding for the word of prayer. Tusimameni tafadhali. Welcome, Madam.
Tuombe. Heavenly Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we bless you this morning. You are awesome God. You reign forever. We pray for the blessings this morning. We pray that you give us divine grace. We pray for the women leadership, my Father, as we begin the meeting. We are also praying and reminding that our number of 7 women elected governors, O Jehovah God, to increase it by thy grace to more than 24. We pray this in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
With your permission, Your Excellency, now you may take your seats. I now invite Commissioner Lichuma, who will take us through the overview of the G7 strategy. Madam Lichuma, karibu.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Excellency Governors present today, Cabinet Secretaries present, Excellency Ambassadors and Heads of Missions, Honorable Members of Parliament, Kenyan Women Parliamentary Association, members of the Diplomatic Corps, national county government officials, private sector and civil society representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Wamama oi. Wamama oye. Thank you very much. This is a day for the women of Kenya. I am here to do a very brief presentation on the G7 strategy. As we can see, in 2022, we managed to get 7 women governors. 2013, when we first received the Constitution, we went around this country campaigning, Your Excellency, but we got 0 women elected. It was a doom for the women of Kenya. 2017, we managed the pioneer 3 women governors. Those in the room, can we have you standing? I can see one. The 3 pioneer governors, thank you. Yes, they're there. In 2017, Your Excellency, we managed 7 governors. Where are the 7? Can we see you? Those are the governors, Your Excellency, that are going to take this country to places. we put together a G7 strategy. G actually just standing for the governors. And in this strategy, we want to galvanize this country so that we see the women leadership bringing in what we desire. Quickly, I'll take just 5 minutes of the time to take you through the rationale of the G7 strategy. We hope that in this, we can enhance the participation and representation of women. Of course, we only have 7. We are aiming at 16 and more. Is that so? Yes. So we have then a strategy here that walks us that journey towards the next election. So we have 4 pillars, and in the first tier, we are seeing that we need to facilitate the retention, re-election, and transition of these women governors to the next level. Now, political figures with national influence of appeal, we can see on the platform there. And in this category, we still do not have a woman. We hope in the next election we will get a woman. Political party leadership and regional kingship is still heavily male-oriented. Parliamentary leadership, we have a bit of both men and women, and notable elected members and governors, we have both men and women, but the women numbers are still very, very limited. So the overall objective of the strategy of the G7, Your Excellency, and the members present in the room is first to enhance the women governors' political influence and leadership at the national and at the county level. Yes, they are elected at the county level, but we are looking at a situation where they also play politics at the national level. And this is a bipartisan women politician caucus. It's bringing together all the women leadership, their parties notwithstanding. The G7 are standing around those values: collaboration, partnership, integrity, equality, equity, inclusion, innovation, and professionalism. The vision is to have transforming society through visionary leadership to deliver the devolution promise. Of course, we have the devolution promise, and the mission is we're going to model women governors as transformative leaders and champions of inclusive political representation and participation. Your Excellency, members, the motto is women leadership, redefining the devolution agenda. The epitome of devolution we are seeing in the 7 women that are seated before us. Our clarion call is G7 as we have it now to G16 and beyond 16. This strategy has 4 pillars. And the first pillar is socio-economic development. How can we be the champions of ensuring economic development goes side by side with political development? We have the political strategy, and this is where we want to move the women to have more women in the political leadership. Good governance, accountability, and access to justice. And we want to strengthen ourselves as institutional capacity in terms of what we deliver. Now, we see us moving to the next level, and we have the key result areas. One is strategic leadership in gender mainstreaming, gender-responsive planning and mainstreaming and budgeting, ending gender-based violence, empowerment of vulnerable groups within society, compliance with international and regional reporting, accountability and access to justice, political leadership and representation in decision-making, gender-responsive programming, which then leads us to the role of this team. We have done the launch today as we're going to have it. We want to invest in communication and branding, civic education programs, monitoring and evaluation so that we see results of what we have, joint resource mobilization, and the G structure and organogram that creates unity of purpose in terms of what we want to do. The quick gains we look at is the post-launch dissemination of this strategy, the G7 Caucus being established, developing leadership and mentorship programs aspiring to women leadership, dispute resolution mechanisms that are strong, using an advisory council, data and statistics, looking at 2024 as the baseline, and the interagency, intergovernmental relations forums that will support these KEWOS at the Senate, KEWOPA in Parliament, Women CS, PSS, MCS, and all the women of Kenya. What are the expectations from this strategy as we launch, members, Your Excellency? First is to provide women-led counties with development programs that support inclusive programming. 2 is to support the implementation of this program so that it becomes a reality. 3 is technical and financial support, which we'll be calling from yourselves and the partners that are in the room. And 4 is supporting capacity building initiatives, because this is where we want to be. And 5 is monitoring and evaluation. That is the strategy for the G7 that we are about to launch. I thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lechuma, for taking us through the overview of the G7 strategy. Allow me now to welcome Nairobi Governor, Honorable Johnson Sakaja. Karibu.
Asante sana, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Excellency Governors and distinguished leaders. Allow me to ride on the protocols already established. Wamama hoe. Wamama hai. Hi, there's a bit more energy in the room. Today is a great day. Wamama hai. Amani jaribu na wababa. Kuna wababa kadhaa. Your Excellency and distinguished leaders, it is indeed quite a privilege and honor and a joy on behalf of the people of Nairobi for us to be hosting this function today in Nairobi. Thank you for choosing the county of Nairobi. You could have done this anywhere in the country, but I'm sure you chose Nairobi not because of convenience, but because you are sure there's a governor who supports this cause in the county of Nairobi. Your Excellency and my colleague governors will tell you, starting with my big sister Anne Waiguru, whom we really look up to. You know, you've shown exemplary leadership, you know, at the Council of Governors, and you've had a long journey with you from when we worked in the National Treasury. Cecily Mbarire, you know, with the indefatigable spirit, you know, a jewel in the east of Mount Kenya. Gladys Wanga, you know, who is setting the pace in many, many respects, being the first woman governor in her region, you know, and we were together in National Assembly and worked even later together. Of course, my sister Susan, former super senator, now super governor, doing amazing in Nakuru. Mheshimiwa Achani, you know, we're proud of you. Being elected in a Muslim, you know, county, where previously, you know, religious limitations would not have had you there, and you've set the pace such that we've seen even in Marsabit now they're endorsing a lady to become governor, and you're paving the way for many more. Hongera sana. Of course, the unbeatable, the resilient, the indefatigable Kawira Mwangaza. You know, tomorrow my daughter will tell me she can be anything she wants to be in this country, whether or not it is political, because she will not know any glass ceiling or any limitation. Whether she wants to be president, whether she wants to be a doctor, whether she wants to be a governor, it will not be a strange thing. So we must applaud the women who've been there, who've set the pace. Of course, Mama Wetu Charity Ngilu. We recognize you. Thank you. Thank you so much for paving the way. From being the first woman presidential candidate in 1997. Masania Mama na Masania Ngilu. Many times you may not know what your individual actions reflect to people in society who may never meet you, who may never get a chance to say thank you, but you inspired a generation, and that is why the ladies to your left are where they are today. When President Obama came to Kenya in his second term, he said that when you exclude women from education, from opportunities, and from leadership, then you're only playing with half of the team. And how do you expect to win with only half of the team on the pitch? It is not only absurd, it is dumb. We need to have, and I must say that our claim to democracy as a country is tainted when half of the team is not on the table. I'm very proud that the women of Kenya, in various aspects, have decided to wake up from the slumbers of apathy to the pains and joys of national consciousness, and you've refused to watch your destiny pass you by. Many times, and I will blame us as men, many times, not just in politics, but even in business, but even in the corporate world, we've made it seem that the biggest obstacle for women in excelling and getting to the top is your femininity. And many times we tell you, be like a man. I want to say there's nothing that is farther from the truth. The flavor that women leadership adds is much needed. That beyond numbers and beyond budgets, your compassion sees faces. Your compassion sees people. So please don't try and say that for you to win these seats, mukue kama wanaume, jikaze kama wanaume, hapana kuwa kama mama. Because ni mama ndo tunahitaji. Nikimalizia kwa sababu wa muda, I am very happy that this G7 strategy is going to be done chronologically, starting with county 1 till 47. So by the time you get to 47, nitakuwa nimemaliza. So mkianza kuongeza idadi ya wamama, tafadhali mwanzie number 1, 2, 3, ndo mmalizie Nairobi. And we will support because, and that's on a light touch, I am a he for she champion. I have been he for she champion since I was a member of the National Assembly when I brought the amendments of what we today have as AGPO, of 30% procurement opportunities for women, for youth, and for persons with disability. I'm proud of that legislation. I was a he for she champion in the Senate, you know, not just legislating, but once, Your Excellency, there was a controversy when I led the Kewopa delegation to the CSW, and I said, issues of gender are not men versus women. You need male champions as well to believe in this agenda. And the minute you get men who believe in this agenda, like my brother Kimani Ichung'wah, who is here as a leader of majority, then you can make them put their money where the mouth is when they go to the floor of parliament, when we're talking about the 2/3 gender rule, and we're talking about all other interventions. I must recognize my sister Beatrice Elachi, who has just come in. She's, I think, my only woman MP in Nairobi County. Out of 17, please let's appreciate Mheshimiwa Elachi. So asanteni sana, please feel at home. Nairobi is a very gender responsive county. And I know one day in future, especially after 9 or so years, we will have a woman governor in Nairobi who I will support with all my heart. As we move from G7, you know, G16 hata ni kidogo, I think we can do better. And if we commit, and I want to say this without any fear of contradiction, to especially target, because you know we sit in the Council of Governors together, hatuwezi pangia wenzetu, si ndio? If we target the counties where men and women even, but men have done 2 terms, si tuanze na hizo. Ndio sasa tukuje tuwa support kwa hizo counties watu wamefanya term 2, ndio tuendelee. Tusiwezi kuja hapa kujipotezea kazi. Na wapenda sana, Nairobi tunasema tuna walombo tov. May God bless you. And kweli na walombo tov kabisa. Sorry? Oh, sorry. I had not seen Governor Wavinya. Yes, Governor Wavinya, Governor Wavinya. Pole sana, Governor Wavinya. That is our neighbor in Nairobi. We work very closely together. She's also, with a serious fighting spirit. Welcome, welcome, Your Excellency, Governor Wavinya. Kwa hiyo mengi, karibuni sana Nairobi. Hii ni siku yenu, sio siku yetu kama wanaume. Thank you, Your Excellency, for making time for the ladies. Hawakuniambia dress code, but I can see you look so good in your purple tie. Unawezanga hata ungevaa ile kaunda ya purple, but najua uko na cabinet after this. May God bless you and enjoy.
Allow me now to welcome Ann Mutavati, Country Representative, UN Women.
His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces. Let me also recognize Honorable Aisha Juma Katana, Cabinet Secretary, Gender, Culture, the Arts and Heritage. I also recognize the women governors, the 7 women governors who bring us here today. Let me also proceed to stand on the protocol already established. Good morning and happy International Women's Day in advance. It is my honor and pleasure to join all of you today on this occasion as we launch the first ever strategy for women governors in Kenya, popularly known as the G7 strategy that we have heard about today. Congratulations again. Your election, Excellencies, in 2022 and the launch of this strategy will go down all the corridors of history on women's political leadership in this country and on the continent and in the whole world. I'm really honored and proud to witness this moment. My sisters, yours is an admirable journey of resilience, of courage, and determination. Each one of you weaving your own story in a unique and very special way, defying insurmountable odds that include cultural, social, and religious barriers, even financial barriers, political barriers, to emerge as winners in one of Kenya's most competitive elections to date. Indeed, your election and accession to office has clearly demonstrated why we need to have more women in leadership. Your track records already and exemplary performance in executing your development agenda, as demonstrated in public opinion surveys, has been nothing but commendable. I urge you all to continue with the same momentum to deliver on the devolution promise for the women, girls, men and boys of this country. Further, I call on you to explore opportunities of peer-to-peer learning and experience sharing on transformative leadership and forge a united front to address challenges that face women political leaders today. Now, allow me to take this moment to congratulate the government of Kenya through your leadership, Your Excellency, for renewed efforts to advance women's political leadership and leading by example, by entrusting women with senior positions both in your government and in the ruling party. For example, we acknowledge that Honorable Cecily Mbarire is the chairperson of the UDA party. Yes. We also acknowledge your support to our excellencies, the governors, the 7 governors, and thank you for supporting their cause by being our chief guest today. Most importantly, Your Excellency, we appreciate your leadership and your commitment to the implementation of the not more than 2/3 gender rule in your term. Excellency, thank you very much. As we celebrate the 2024 International Women's Day, the most perfect gift that you can give to the women of this country is to ensure that we legislate for the 2/3 gender bill, yes, which has been elusive for the past 13 years. I reassure you that UN Women's support to this quest, and will continue to work with your very able Cabinet Secretary here, Honorable Aisha Juma, in this and many other interventions to advance gender equality and empowerment of women in this country. As I end, I would like to wish all of us a happy International Women's Day and hope that we support the women governors as they deliver on the commitment and promise that they are making today. Asanteni sana.
Allow me now to invite Sebastian Tia, Country Director, Oxfam, Kenya. Karibu.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Your Excellency, the Governors, Your Excellency, representatives of the diplomatic missions, cabinet secretaries, representatives from the county government, civil society organizations, and private sector, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Please accept apologies from the Interim Country Director for Oxfam in Kenya, Sebastian Tia, who would have loved to be with us here today, but he sends his best wishes to the governors for the launch of this strategy. 12 months ago, when we started this journey, in a room with the governors, representatives from the Council of Governors, Oxfam in Kenya and Oxfam US, we had a vision, but we didn't know this vision would be this big. We have received unwavering support and goodwill from the different stakeholders that we have engaged, including the grassroots women that are here today. And this day would not have been possible without all of you, and we appreciate this support. Oxfam is a global movement of people fighting inequality to end poverty and injustice. In Oxfam, we put women at the heart of everything that we do, in recognition of the existing patriarchal structures, institutions, practices, customs, norms, values, and attitudes and beliefs that are barriers to the achievement of women's rights and the rights of all the people. A reality that the governors have to contend with every day as they serve the Kenyans in their different counties. We believe that a just society is not possible unless women and girls have agency over their lives, and that the society needs to challenge harmful social norms and belief systems to ensure that we fully realize their rights. And so, in our quest to achieve gender justice, we work to ensure that women in leadership positions across different sectors have equal recognition and are shaping public policy, including decision-making. We believe that women and girls face discrimination and injustice. It is both a cause and a result of inequality that drives poverty. Therefore, we focus on transformative leadership that advances women's participation, leadership, and rights. It is for this reason that Oxfam, through our work on transformative leadership for women's rights, we were honored to partner with the Council of Governors and the Women Governors and to embark on this journey of developing the Women's Governors Caucus strategy, the G7 strategy. The strategy is our act of standing in solidarity with the women governors in their leadership to facilitate access to strategic and structured support and resources from different development partners who are here today and those that are joining us virtually, and different stakeholders to enable them to effectively execute their mandates as governors, and also challenge the existing retrogressive narratives that exist on women leadership. We acknowledge that the achievement of women's full rights is a complex and socioeconomic and political process. It demands diverse, positive, and sustained changes in policy, practices, resource allocation, attitudes, beliefs, and power relationships. Together, these changes have the potential to lead to transform societies where women and other marginalized groups can fully achieve their rights. It is for this reason that we also take this opportunity to send a plea to all the stakeholders gathered here today and those that are joining the event virtually to extend their support to the governors, because this strategy needs all of us to come to fruition. This strategy is definitely a game changer to the political landscape of this country, and you all don't want to be left out of this historical moment. The launch is just the beginning. The difficult path lies ahead where the strategy needs to be implemented and significant resources are needed. As Oxfam, both in country and globally, we continue to pledge our unwavering support to the women governors and the Council of Governors in the implementation of this strategy. We believe this strategy is the vessel to achieving gender parity in political leadership in Kenya. Thank you very much.
The next speaker is a former governor and was among the first women to be elected in the country as governors. Let's put our hands together and welcome former Kitui Governor, Honorable Charity Ngilu.
Thank you so much. Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Your Excellencies, Madam Governor Anne Waiguru, my colleague before I left, and now the Chair of Council of Governors, Madam Cicely Berire, Governor of Mboa, and indeed, the leader of the ruling party, UDA. And this is what we always advocate for. Your Excellencies, Homa Bay Governor, and a person I met when you were extremely young and still in college, Your Excellency, Madam Susan Kihika, Your Excellencies, Madam Chale Wale, Your Excellencies Vavinya Ndeti Machakos, Your Excellencies Kawira Mwangaza Meru, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today is a great day for us as the women of Kenya. And really, I want to first thank Your Excellency for gracing this occasion. Being here shows how much you support the women of Kenya and how far you want them to go. For us women, when we are supported this way, we really got to take this with both hands and to make sure that this G7 that has started today and strategy being launched today can go a long way in increasing the number of women in leadership in this country. When you work with the women, as Governor Sakaja has said, if you work with half in the field, half the team, you cannot achieve as much as you should achieve. So women need to be involved in every sphere of development. And I want to ask Your Excellency Anne Waiguru, we are talking about increasing the numbers to 16. But may I ask that we should increase the numbers to 25, if not 47, having women governors in the 47 counties will really help the president to go forward. And indeed, let's start looking at the government itself, making sure that whoever president will be there will get 50% of his cabinet or her cabinet to be women. We must not be apologetic to what we want. And I want to assure you, Your Excellency, by the way, if you have more women in leadership, they'll help you carry a lot of the work that you are doing. They will help you, and very well indeed. You'll be freer than you are today. Women, I think there is something I want to say here about politics. Something is worrying me very much. We women have seen here that we are going to make sure that we will work across political divide. All parties, we as women must come together and ensure that whatever party you are in, we will support you where you are. What for me has shocked me in the last few days is the new handshake, Your Excellency. And I thank you for supporting Baba to become the AU chair. But you cannot take him alone. He has many other people with him. He had many, many people with him. And I still need to understand, and I'll study this a little bit, to understand how this works amongst male leadership. Women don't do that. Since I haven't known how it works, I'll continue to learn how it works. For us right now today, we must make sure we increase the number of women. We go to the grassroots. Let's not leave it at the governor's level. We'll go to the grassroots level. We'll increase the number of women who are there. We'll identify them. We'll make sure that they are trained, they have got skills. We'll build confidence in them and ensure that we know the wards they are going to run. Increase the number of MCAs. Increase the number of women members of parliament. Increase the number of women governors. Increase the number of all women in their places. And of course, the final seat is the presidential seat. Don't run away from it. Women want it like yesterday. So, Your Excellency, the best you can now do, and I want to ask this for the women in office and out of the office, please help these women to mobilize resources to get to the villages and to ensure that women can be empowered enough. I want to say that I didn't know I was going to be asked to speak, but I'm happy you have given me an opportunity to say something. Governor Sakaja, Nairobi ni yako, lakini sioni wanawake vizuri hapa Nairobi. Tafadhali weka wanawake tuwaone. You cannot talk about he for she and we are not seeing it. You must walk the talk. And I'll be on your case. Your Excellency, and Anna Iguru, please, Governor, be on the President's case and make sure that we keep in on his toes to ensure that we have the numbers. I want to thank you very much for inviting me to say a few words. Please, women, young women governors, shine and shine and shine for Kenya. Asante sana. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Gilu. Allow me now to welcome Majority Leader, National Assembly, Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah. Let's put our hands together and welcome him to come and make his remarks. Karibu.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the President, the G7 governors, ladies and the few gentlemen in the room, good morning. Your Excellency, it is indeed a great honor to be before such a gracious congregation of very many beautiful ladies, led by these very hardworking, transformative, and visionary governors in the G7 group. Your Excellency, let me begin with a confession, and I know you have also said it. At one point, I did mention to you that if we had occasion to have a referendum in this country, as we talk about G7 and moving on to G16, as the G7 has proposed, it was also my proposal that should we ever have an occasion to amend our constitution through a referendum, because it's a referendum question, we should probably have the governor's seat preserved and reserved for women. And Your Excellency, I say that not just because I'm a father to 4 beautiful girls. And let me also disclose this morning, Your Excellency, that in my house, besides my wife and the 4 girls, my eldest daughter has a pet, which also happens to be female. So when in the last general elections last year, but one, Your Excellency, there was a loose grouping that called itself the Future is Female. They had a patron, and Governor Susan Kihika happened to name me as a patron of the Future is Female movement within the Kenya Kwanza and UDA grouping. Your Excellency, I'm indeed honored that today our party chair is none other than Governor Cecily Mbaride. And for us to be able to realize, Your Excellency, an incremental number of women governors, I think it will begin with political parties. And looking at the strategy that the G7 Caucus has adopted, I think the party you lead as party leader UDA has led from the front, with chair of our party being Cecily Mbarire, and the endeavor to have more women governors must begin from our political parties, and more so in the nomination of political party candidates in our strongholds. Let us make sure that we nominate more women for governor seats. And I want to challenge the G7 caucus that moving from 7 to 16 is not good enough for me. We probably should target 30 to 36 governors, so that if we falter, then we can get to the 16 that you're targeting. But I want to assure you that it is indeed possible. Your Excellency, if you saw that the vision that this caucus has, transforming society through visionary leadership that will deliver on the promise of devolution, I have no doubt in my mind, Your Excellency, that that promise of devolution can and will indeed be achieved through transformative and visionary leadership coming from our women governors. And I say this, Your Excellency, because if you look at Schedule 4 of our Constitution, many of the functions that were delegated to our devolved governments or devolved units, Your Excellency, be it the provision of water, be it healthcare, are issues that are core and are the heart of not just our women leaders, but women in the country. And these women leaders, Your Excellency, I have to say from my experience over the last many years that I have served with many of them, and I think I have worked with many of these governors currently here, Governor Kawera, Governor Achani, Governor Susan Kihika, Governor Wanga, Governor Cecily. We worked with them in the National Assembly. And Your Excellency, you also remember Governor Achani was a deputy governor. And many a times in general elections when governors are choosing their running mates, it was assumed that women would be nominated as deputy governors as flower girls. Governor Achani actually has exemplified that women are not just flower girls to their male governors, that they can indeed succeed their governors as deputy governors, and she has exemplified that very well. When last elections we said, hatu achani na achani. And I was in Kwale, Your Excellency, I campaigned for all these women governors and my other confession, Your Excellency. You know you are all in Kenya Kwanza, but this women agenda transcends even political parties. Governor Gladys Wanga, I must confess, I did assist Governor Gladys Wanga in the last elections, and I truly campaigned for her, even being in ODM, Your Excellency. And I know this women agenda will transcend our political party affiliations. Let us support our women candidates without looking at our political party affiliations. And I am certain, Your Excellency, it is possible to transform this country using visionary women leaders. Your Excellency, these women, I must tell you, from my experience again, I have come to discover that women leaders are less corrupt. And it is a fact. They are more caring, they are more empathetic, and definitely more loving than us, as men, with the exception of yourself, Your Excellency, because you have been the champion #1 of the women cause. And I remember in the last general election how well you supported all our women candidates, including these governors who are here, and including the Honorable Aisha Jumwa, who now sits in a very special place, advancing the women cause as the Minister in charge of gender affairs. And Your Excellency, in conclusion, let me assure you and assure this gathering that within the National Assembly, we will not only support those of our members in the National Assembly, and I see many of them here who are eyeing governor seats. I know Governor Sakaja indicated that it would be chronological and suggested that we should probably begin with those male governors who are serving their second term. But I want to tell you, it is free for all. Any county, whether a governor is serving their first term or their second term, those seats will fall vacant when the elections are called. Go for any seat, including that of Governor Sakaja. And I know he's doing a great job in Nairobi, and many other male governors are doing a great job, but please challenge them. Your Excellency, in conclusion, on the 2/3 gender rule, Your Excellency, you know you have been at the forefront, and you did share with us a memoranda in the National Assembly and in Parliament on actualization of 2/3 gender rule. I want to confirm to Your Excellency, as the Leader of Majority in the National Assembly, that in Parliament we shall do whatever it takes to actualize the 2/3 gender rule this time round. Your Excellency, I am certain we shall be able to achieve that within your administration and have the 2/3 gender rule become a reality. With those many remarks, congratulations, ladies, on the launch of this G7. You know, G7 came from a group of 7 countries that were the most advanced economies. I hope these 7 governors will also lead the 7 most advanced counties in our country. And let me congratulate all of them, because I have seen, at least I have toured each of their counties, including Machakos, and Kwale, Nakuru, Homa Bay, Embu, and Your Excellency, all these governors are doing extremely well, and I must say, way above our male colleagues. And I want to ask them to keep up, they stick to their plan, and they deliver to the people. Thank you, and may God bless you.
It's now my pleasure to invite National Assembly Deputy Speaker Gladys Boschele to say a word. Let's put our hands together and welcome her.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, Your Excellencies, the governors here present, especially the women governors, led by the chairperson of the Council of Governors. It gives me great pride to be here today when you launch this amazing program and strategy. I know I've walked the journey with you and attended a lot of the meetings, and it's very timely because this is Women's Month this year. And in fact, actually, tomorrow I shall be speaking at Oxford University to celebrate Women's Day, and one of my slides is actually this slide, that I will be explaining about the great work that the women governors have done. You have seen that everyone is speaking about the great work that the women governors have done. And I'm glad that, Your Excellency, you have endorsed the fact that we should reserve the seat of governors for women. I think this country will go great places. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Asante.
I now invite Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Gender, Culture, the Arts and Heritage, Honorable Aisha Jumwa.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Your Excellency, the Chairperson of the Council of Governors and the Governor of Kirinyaga County, Honorable Anne Waiguru, Excellencies, the Governors, Honorable Susan Kihika, Honorable Gladys Wanga, Honorable Cecil Mbarire, Honorable Fatuma Achani, Honorable Kawera Mwangaza, Honorable Wavinya Ndeti. Fellow Cabinet Secretaries present, PSS present, members of the Diplomatic Corps present, UN Women Representative in Kenya, Ms. Anne Mutavati, members of the National Assembly and Senate present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. What a morning. I am truly delighted to be part of this historical launch of the G7 Women's Caucus strategy on the eve of the 2024 International Women's Day, whose theme, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, is so relevant for today's launch. I want, in a special way, to congratulate you, my sisters, for this noble initiative. You are true trailblazers. Your resilience, passion, focus, and tireless efforts has been inspiring to watch. Your Excellency, Mr. President, sir, I applaud your efforts and commitment towards the inclusion of women in leadership, representation, and decision-making spaces in Kenya. Through your leadership, today, Kenya has the highest number of women governors since the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution. And out of the 7 governors, 4 are from the political party where you serve as the leader. And you are now supporting all without boundaries. This would not have been possible without your unwavering support, Your Excellency. Beyond supporting the women governors to be elected, just last week in Homa Bay County, at the investment conference, you affirmed women governors' leadership as being transformative. And as your Cabinet Secretary for Gender Affairs, I can confirm your commitment to advancing women leadership in Kenya, which inspires hope that under your leadership, Kenya will actually surpass the G7 Caucus aspirations of moving from 7 to 16 women governor in the next election cycle. Further, you have led from the front on the implementation of the not more than 2/3 gender principle. First, through your memo to Parliament, and the second, by ensuring the implementation of the not more than 2/3 gender principle was an integral part of the National Dialogue Committee process. Your Excellency, sir, within the Ministry of Gender, Culture, the Arts, and Heritage, I continue to spearhead robust policies and legal frameworks and strategic initiatives to ensure the gender agenda is at the core of the implementation of the bottom-up transformation agenda, popularly known as BETTER. Through a multi-agency approach, we are making good progress towards the implementation of Women's Charter, which you committed to. And tomorrow, during the International Women's Day event in Mboa, we will share this progress. As we launch the G7 Caucus today, I wish to confirm to you, my sisters, that the aspirations and the objectives of the caucus align with those of the Ministry of Gender, and I stand ready to support you. I am hopeful that working together as a team at the national and the county levels, the promise of gender equality is now within the reach. In conclusion, one thing is clear: investing in women and girls leads to sustainable development and create a future where all women and girls around the world are allowed to rise and reach their full potential. I am a living testimony of what it means to invest in women and girls. From the sun-swept fishing village of Takaungu to the world. My clarion call is, let us work together for more inclusive, brighter, peaceful, and prosperous future for us all. Once again, congratulations, my sisters, on the launch of this caucus, and count me in. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.
May I now request COG Chair Madam Anne Waiguru to make her way to the stage and take over the program. Tumkaribishe kwa makofi.
Wamama hai. Wamama mpo. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, PhD, CGH, Excellency Governors, Cabinet Secretaries, all protocols observed. Allow me to invite all my colleagues Semeni woman power. I have just been informed that there is a quick video that is supposed to play before I call my colleagues. It's for 3 minutes. Those who are operating, kindly put the video up.
The Council of Governors, COG, plays a pivotal role in coordinating, convening, and advocating for county governments on issues of common interest, including matters of gender equality and women empowerment in intragovernmental and intergovernmental structures such as the Summit, the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council, IBEC, and the Devolution Conference. Following the implementation of the current Constitution of Kenya, the inaugural election held in March 2013 brought forth county governments comprising the first cohort of 47 governors who formed the Council of County Governors, COG. Regrettably, no woman governor was elected. However, there were 9 women deputy governors. Subsequently, during the second round of elections held in 2017, 3 women governors were elected. And in the 2022 general election, this number rose to 7 women governors and 8 female deputy governors.
It's really, really important to have more women at the table because I feel or I believe that there are some aspects or perspectives that women bring that may not necessarily be brought to the table if there are no women at the table.
This marked a significant milestone for the Council of Governors with the election of its first female chair, Her Excellency Anne Waiguru, who is now serving a second term. In collaboration with Oxfam in Kenya, the Council embarked on developing a strategy for the Women Governors Caucus, G7. This strategy aims to establish an influential, respected, and high-profile caucus of women governors. Additionally, the G7 strategy is designed to support female governors in showcasing the impact of devolution through transformative leadership, effective governance, and mentorship of women and girls. In this regard, the strategy is anchored on 4 pillars that are crucial to advancing women leadership and fostering inclusion. Socio-economic development pillar emphasizes the critical role of comprehensive, disaggregated cross-sector data on gender and service delivery.
For us as governors and especially female governors, sitting at the decision-making table, we are to move ahead and make sure that we curb the issues of sexual gender-based violence by empowering women. We used to have so many early marriages because the girl child could not be taken to school because of poverty, and even the disabled could not be taken to school because of poverty.
Recognizes that good governance is essential for progress, resting on pillars of transparency, participation, and fairness as enshrined in the Kenyan Constitution.
In order for you to deliver on your development agenda and on the services that you provide to the people, financial stewardship comes first. You must ensure that the resources that come to the county are well utilized in a transparent way and accountable way that people are able to see value for money.
Political strategy. This pillar recognizes that true change does not stop at increased numbers.
You see, as a woman, you must have a strategy. You must know how you want to brand yourself so that you can sell yourself to the people. You must have your ideologies and what you believe in, yeah? And then stick to them.
It is about creating an environment where women can not only participate, but also have their voices heard, their needs addressed, and their leadership recognized as pivotal to shaping the future of devolution in Kenya.
Anytime a woman tries or thinks about joining politics, you must be prepared and be focused, because you will face a lot of challenges, you will face a lot of hurdles. You must be focused. As for me, I was so much focused that even after a lot of hindrances, like impeachments and what have you, I still had a vision and mission about the manifesto and the promises that I made to the people of Meru.
Institutional strengthening recognizes the necessity of capacity building at all levels for the Women Governors Caucus to fulfill its mandate, including investing in institutional, organizational, and individual staff resources.
With regard to engaging in training and capacity building, it's very critical for good governance. If you're going to mentor, or if you're going to transfer skills, if you're going to have efficient and effective institutions, training and capacity building has to be a continuous thing that you do.
Additionally, mentorship is highlighted as a key strategic imperative for the development, progression, and empowerment of women leaders.
Transformation is a powerful word. It's not change. You can change without discomfort. But when you want to do transformation, there will be resistance, there will be discomfort, there will be, people refusing, and you need courage to transform. And what is needed in our country is really transformation, where people can't recognize what they left.
As the G7 strategy unfolds, the journey towards gender equality in governance is ignited. A new chapter in Kenya's political narrative, one where women's voices are heard, their contributions valued, and their leadership celebrated.
G7! G7! G7!
Our clarion call is G7 to G16.
Your Excellency, we have just looked at that video, and we know that the people preparing it are planning to take it to CSW. But we have seen some of the shots. Some of us were not looking like we were in a moment of jokand and brouhaha, considering we were in Homa Bay. So we are going to be requesting that that video be redone just a little bit when we look a little bit more vibrant. But you've seen what the G7 is about. Allow me, Your Excellency, very quickly to request all my colleagues to come in front. We will not take more than 10 minutes. Makofi, tafadhali. Your Excellency, I will request my colleagues to each speak for a minute. We've all agreed that we'll be very brief, so I will not be introducing them. I'll just move to the end and come back to make my welcoming remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the President, and my colleague governors, and really standing on all existing protocol. I see members of KEWOPA here, and tunashukuru sana. Your Excellency, today is really not for us to speak much because a lot has already been said, but I take this opportunity to really thank you for your support for the G7 team, but not just for the G7 team. First, I thank you because you support the G7 indiscriminately. It is not lost on us that we are different. We are from different political parties, but you have not discriminated us on the basis of our political persuasions. And that, I must rise here and thank you. And also thank you for coming to Homa Bay last week, despite having a very, very difficult program. That really showed your support. But I'd like to finally really thank you, not just for supporting the women and women leaders, because it's about the women at the grassroots. And the way you have moved to support the women at the grassroots, wale wadogo sana. And to speak from Homa Bay's perspective, you're doing markets, 6 ESP markets, a fish market for women who have been selling fish on the ground and are now going to sell in a place that looks like a city. Your Excellency, you've seen what the lakefront in Homa Bay now looks like. Hizo picha ni za Homa Bay, by the way. Hizo mnaona hapo zikikaa mzuri. It's because of our partnership and for your support for devolution. So tushikane, tusonge mbele pamoja, and we want to also let our people know that as women governors, we are making a commitment. And that is why institutional strengthening, transparency and accountability and governance are also very key pillars of our strategy. We don't want to be the ones to let the country down by people pointing at us and saying, look, see how women are corrupt or are doing this. We are doing our best to ensure that we are standing on strong governance structures so that we can be the shining example. Mheshimiwa Ishungu, asante sana for your support and for coming out clearly. Na boss pia amefuatilia hiyo njia. Hii kiti ya governor, apart from ya Sakaja mwenye ako hapa, zote zikuwe za kina mama. Asante sana, and God bless you. I have a message which I will read later from Honorable Dr. Phoebe Mugasio, who was among our trailblazers. She was invited. I will read her message later when there is a bit more time. Asante.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, all protocols observed. Kina mama hai. Kina mama hai. God is good and all the time. I'm really excited to be here this morning, and I want to thank His Excellency the President for gracing this occasion. Your presence is a sign that you truly believe in the leadership of women. And let me say that the dream that it is possible started in 2017 when we got the first 3 female governors elected. We had the Governor Charity Ngilu, my mentor, the Governor late Joyce Laboso, may her soul continue to rest in peace, and Governor, Chair of the Council of Governors, Governor Anne Mombi Waiguru. And so I want to thank those 3 great women because you made it possible for us to join you. And I want to particularly thank Anne Waiguru, who is my next door neighbor, because, Your Excellency, when I was campaigning, part of the reason the people of Embu County voted for me was because of the good news they were hearing from Kirinyaga. And because of her, the people of Embu believed a woman can deliver. Thank you, my sister, for making it possible for me to campaign easier and to give an example of you as my next door neighbor. That's the impact